All right, we're
I'll hit the
live.
button.
Hey, we're live already. Pete.
Yeah, well, I still hit it. I clicked it. Hi, everyone.
How's it
Fantasy
going?
Labs, I'm Pete.
I'm Jeremy. Pete, how you doing this evening?
Jeremy, I'm wonderful, man. I'm great.
I'm doing great too, and I'm about to be even better because I have whiskey. No, I no. Feel we're gonna make some fun magic items tonight.
I got Chipyard Pumpkinhead with the cinnamon sugar. I did the full cinnamon sugar rim, which is
Cinnamon sugar rim.
cinnamon sugar rim, which is the way to go if you're gonna do Pumpkinhead. But
Mhm.
like, I'm just way too lazy. And also, like, if I'm having more than one beer, then
Mhm.
it just starts to become just too much sweetness. But just for like one, it's the strategy.
See, I don't know anything about strategy.
Oh,
That's my
Maddie, I see Maddie's hanging out. Maddie, I'm really glad that you're here. Jared, do you want to talk about what we're doing here tonight so that I can transition to the obvious question that I would have for Maddie?
Yeah, so tonight we are doing a work stream. It's something we don't do super often, like ever on this channel.
Yeah, ever.
But rather than like don't we normally do on Fantasy Labs, we are taking a bunch of magical item options and we're creating them. These are things that people in Pete and Jeremy's D&D time, the show that we've been running every Friday here for like 3 years now, really would love to see and get before the show come to its conclusion in by the end of the year. So we're doing our best to put these together now, and then they will trickle out into the player base, so folks get a chance to use them.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing
That's the
throughout the
gist of
night.
it.
Which brings me to my question for, Maddie, which is to say, Maddie, what did you have in mind for your next item for Zuzip? I know that you had mentioned that you were very close to it, but if you have any ideas that you want to throw us out now, please do let us know what you were thinking. I don't know if you already got that nice spell casting focus. So I don't think if you were leading into, I don't know, like a nice cloak, or I guess Zuzip isn't big into clothes, but yeah, let us know what you had in mind.
I mean, they grow their own clothes. We got a couple of ideas that some folks had come up with too. We had kind of asked to crowdsource a little bit. We had reached out to y'all and asked for a couple of ideas regarding some of the items that we're planning on working on tonight, and yeah, we're gonna check that stuff out as we kind of go along, depending on what we're working on. But yeah, it should be good. It should be good. Actually,
Yeah.
you know, we could just abduct Maddie. We could bring him up into the Discord if he wants. We could talk.
Yeah, if you feel like it.
I mean, our main goal tonight, we're going to be very much a work stream. Oh, Alex is here too. Perfect.
Oh, cool.
Alex, I'm planning on kicking it off with your dragon sword. So I'm very glad that you're able to make it this evening. And yeah, I know we're basically it's going to be a work stream. This is going to be we try and get a bunch of stuff done, and then yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, we're
trying to get a bunch of stuff done.
We're taking the time for Fantasy Labs to just really do a lot of work that we have to do is what it comes down to.
Hype 20 months. Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
My goodness.
Oh yeah, no, Maddie, don't even worry about it if you don't want to jump into voice. That was like a spur of the moment. I thought that's what you were asking, kind of deal. It's all good. This is a very, very impromptu and casual show.
But if you do feel like it, then when you pop into On Deck, I'll drag you up. Yeah, Jeremy, you said you're dibsing the Dragon Greatsword, huh?
It's that I am doing. I have a couple of ideas about this. Alex, when we were talking, we had talked a little bit in the chat, and we've reached out to a couple of you guys to get some ideas. But when we had been talking before, you had mentioned that you wanted it to be a transforming weapon, that you wanted it to be able to be wielded with a shield, even though it's a greatsword, and that it could combine with a shield at times as part of its various forms. And then you were also very interested in it being kind of like a Titan Slayer weapon that's better versus bosses. I'm wondering, did you have any like specific ideas for those kind of things? Like when I hear transforming weapon, dragon, and greatsword, I think of like a sword that changes its type based on like the chromatic dragons or something, or the metallic dragons, right? It turns into like a brass great sword and a silver great sword, and it just kind of changes between the different forms like dragons. Or did you have something completely different in mind? Because that's kind of what I was thinking of.
So maybe I'll start off on that math book, Jeremy. It feels appropriate.
Oh yeah, Pete, you want to talk a little bit about the math book?
Yeah, that was for polynomial. Fitting. Wanted a cool spell casting item, which well was a math book because their character is canonically a math goblin that that is not under the thrall of the Calculord. So yeah, we're gonna do a some kind of spell casting focus that is probably a spell book. In that case, I always like to make sure I have the character up. So I'll probably pop onto Roll20 and be looking at their character while I'm doing some of the design here and look at some of their other items. Because we always like think about what when we're making one and stuff like this, personalized items for people. We think about the other stuff you guys have, and
So right off the bat, when I was thinking like I really got into this idea of like the sword and shield combo that would like come together. I was thinking of dragons. I immediately thought Bahamut and Tiamat because they're kind of the classic dragons of Dungeons and Dragons. And I love the idea of like the shield being like Bahamut and the sword being Tiamat, and they can like combine into the big Asgaroth dragon thing. That sounds like a pretty cool like final form kind of vibe. And maybe the sword could play into the different 5 colors of the chromatic dragons, and maybe I can find a way to make the shield play into the 5 metallic. Yeah, you love that. I love it too. See, it's the kind of vibe where I'm just like, man, I got 2 things, and it has to do with dragons. So I just Googled, I'm on Wikipedia Tiamat right now, and I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. So I love that. So it's got a legendary. Actually, we call it Greatsword and Shield because it's a combo item. Legendary requires achievement by a Dragonborn. Pete and I love to do that kind of stuff. We have like little caveats, like requires achievement by a Dragonborn when we're doing these kind of. What do you want to call these items? Like legacy items?
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Legacy items. The character specific ones, character items, I guess would be another thing for it.
Yeah, because they're items that like are powerful in their own right, but they have specific requirements to use them. And then if you're the person they're specifically made for, or of their descendants, they have these extra like beyond legendary powers. I see we got Maddie in the on deck. That you want to drag him up and we can.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I'm gonna start.
Maddie. Maddie's here. Maddie, feel free to make yourself known whenever you are ready to do so.
Oh, hi.
Hey, what's going on, Maddie?
1 second, let me mute you on my other screen here.
Oh yeah, that's always so disorienting. I also did that to myself and heard me talking back at myself when we started.
Okay, there we go. The sweet sound of silence, except when it's not.
Yeah, not at all silent. Not at all silent. We're gonna be chatty. We've got a lot of stuff going down.
Maddie Morgs.
How you doing?
Many of you probably know me as Maddie Morgs from the Maddie Morgs channel, where I feature Maddie Morgs.
You can find him over at twitch.tv/MaddieMorgs.
Ooh.
So Maddie, you want to tell us a little bit about ZooZip and what you had in mind for this as we're kind of digging around?
Yeah. So ZooZip actually came about fairly early on when I was kind of regularly getting to know you all and kind of jiving. I think it was one of our first sort of project crossovers because we did one of the Maddie Morgs channel character creation processes, our randomizer, and we were featuring the homebrew races that you all had developed for D&D time. And so sticking within those boundaries, we randomly made a Blossomer Florin dragon sorcerer. And we also used the D&D time naming convention, which is rolling a bunch of dice and then kind of playing jumble with them. And we
oh yeah,
D&D time convention, or is it the Jeremy convention?
this is the Jeremy. Please, I believe that the naming convention. I don't like to take credit for things too often, but that awful way of making up a name was a Pete original.
Well, that's how it came about with Zuzip, and of course, her follower behind her, Tissix. And I believe I remember a particular horse in Waterdeep that was also named as such.
Oh,
yes.
The horse.
I
Wait, no,
can't.
Haslam was the dragon.
I could never learn how to pronounce the horse's name. Even like I was hoping Jeremy has had a rule in a lot of campaigns where if you forget an NPC's name, they die. I was really hoping that that horse would just die in the background, but for some reason that did not apply to that horse.
So yeah, I made. In fact, if any of you are curious, you can actually watch the video where Zuzip was created because that was uploaded to our workshop and on YouTube. So you can see little baby Maddie Morgs and little baby Jeremy doing a voice commentary to go alongside it too.
Just back when things were so innocent.
Yeah.
And Zuzip was just one of the Zuzip was just a collective back then, and not the individual that we know today.
Yeah, just a rogue sprout that kind of went out, and she's made a home for herself throughout D&D time and all the realms that it touches.
So Maddie, have you given much thought? Because you had mentioned we set out those messages to everyone. You'd mentioned that you were planning on doing another item for Zuzip. Do you know what you had in mind?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it would be allowed at first to double up on a Bartholomew's Choice. But I was doing some thinking, and in fact, I sent one over here to Jeremy. Let me give you an image here real quick, Pete.
Oh boy, now I gotta find a way to get that on the stream. Hold up. Or am I allowed to put that on the stream, Maddie, or is that top secret?
You know, you can share it because it's a concept, so it may not end up being final.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So I was doing some thinking about this, especially because as a dragon blood sorcerer, you of course take on properties of the dragon with whom you share this genetic gift. And you grow wings, et cetera, et cetera. And so I was thinking, well, she's getting to the point where she's going to be able to grow some dragon wings, and she's a pink snapdragon, sort of at her core, being a blossomer florin. So that was the general aesthetic I was going towards. And I wanted to get a better image of her than perhaps what you all have seen me kind of quickly draw up in paint.
Those are perfect, Maddie. Don't sell yourself short.
Especially the synth wave.
The synth wave leveled me.
We call that hype.
Inspired is I think the word we'd use on Fantasy Labs.
So I was thinking, and sort of like, I have this really neat rod that I really appreciate the thought and effort you put into it because it grows with Zuzip, because Zuzip has been on a growth process from level 1 until we find her now. And so, it gets little things here added to it. It expands her repertoire. I think it's a really good distillation of just who and what she is. And I'm thinking, well, if there's another artifact, I mean, I don't really see her being, like needing super armor or something along those lines. She certainly gets in the mix, and I'll tell you, she does have some succulent mixed in with her, because she can take some hits. She has a ton of hit points. But I was thinking as an item, what else would play into her? And so one of the ideas I had was, for a very long time, actually since it wasn't the last Carnival of Souls. It was when Terry the Tarrasque woke up and needed to be put back down in the zoo. That's when I went into the gift store and ended up with a cursed Lance Silverblood doll. And I've tried to invoke it here and there, and it was kind of interesting. Here's an image of someone who can show up, possibly help out. And it was just a fascinating. It was a fascinating thing, and I've tried to invoke this doll a couple different times. And so I thought, oh, and I've also used the Terry the Tarrasque plushie that I've had, and some other things. Well, what if I had something that might summon my lover in the other in a port city somewhere, like to actually just summon a dragon for a couple rounds on the battlefield, or because I am becoming more draconic, that would sort of mega evolve Zuzip into a brass dragon.
We're gonna Dynamax Zuzip.
I guess Dynamax. Yeah, mega evolution. Jeez, the power curve is so far. That's Garbo tier.
I don't know my Pokemon meta as well as you guys. I know you both. Is there mega evolutions in Dynamax? I guess this is a bit of a tangent.
Well, Dynamax would play, I guess, into the fact that I do play with sizes in making people grow and shrink. I get the shrinking from the Ring of Sneck, but maybe a Dynamax version would be interesting.
Well, I was curious if there was Dynamax and Mega Evolutions just in Pokemon Go, because I know that you guys are on that Pokemon Go grind.
Yeah, we're catching all of them there Yu-Gi-Mons. There is Mega Evolution that is just starting to appear.
I like Agumon. He's my favorite Pokemon.
So that was my idea. I have the rod, and I don't know if either this Mega Evolution or something, or if I just was able to summon, because it would technically be one summon. Granted, it would be a pretty powerful dragon, but to summon a dragon for, I don't know, X rounds or whatever. Ultimately, it's your game, and these would be things for you to consider. But I think those would be thematic to be able to use now. She is blossomed into her own person, in some cases very literally. In doing this design, I wanted to plan for the wings and even to grow a semblance of a tail, somewhat like a dragon. So I figured that either summoning her lover or just becoming this Dynamax Dragon Zuzip or something would be very interesting, and would be it would make her more singular, even though she is, she has the wand of the one, as she is the one Zuzip. The only other thing that came to mind too might be to summon a swarm of other Zuzips or other little, I don't know, like a bunch of little Gribblers to just kind of flood the board for a little bit. Not necessarily under my control, because I know you have the one summon thing, but kind of I don't know, an environmental effect or
one swarm of Zuzips.
Yeah, I'm only asking for one swarm of Zuzips.
Only 1 million.
Yeah.
And we could definitely, and that's how we would do something like that, because since we have our very specific one summon rule, we could do if that was the direction you were interested in, we could do a full horde kind of thing where it's just one block that does something. But it seems like the dragon direction is kind of what you're more interested in anyway, and I think that we can find something there.
Yeah. I certainly trust you guys. You've done a fantastic job, not just as DMs and having and exercising knowledge of the game and the mechanics, but you have been very receptive to your players' characters. You've been considerate of them. I mean, obviously in the confines of the format as best that you can, and it has been such a fantastic journey. I super duper trust you all. And now that I'm saying this, I'm like, oh, instead of a swarm, what if the boat just sort of flew overhead and just sort of rained down a bunch of cannon fire and then just sort of went off the map or something?
That reminds me of a Final Fantasy summon in a sense.
Yeah. It'd be a big summon.
They do the summon, but really it's just the summon shows up and does one attack, which is almost like a cutscene, almost like a Final Smash in Super Smash Brothers, where you have one cutscene attack and then it cuts back to Zuzip.
Yeah, or even I don't know if it'd be simple to take concepts like this whether the summon becomes myself or similar to the Rod of the One, where it's kind of modal. I don't know. It's some sort of a summoning where I could summon my lover. I could summon my ship of piratical plants to just sort of wash over the board, or to or to make myself into a to summon the dragon gift that has been given to me. Something along those lines might be. I don't know if that'd make it easier, or if you'd prefer to stick to not as if I have more of a generalist wand to go for something more specific. But I don't know, all those ideas I think would mesh.
I think you've given us just the right amount to go on, Maddie. I got some cool ideas that I'm already starting to spark off of from what you've put forth here. So I think you've given us just the nudge that we needed.
All right.
I really like the idea now of this, like, of the dragon form. That just sounds very cool to me. I mean, that sounds like Pete. I can't say that, like, I wanted to do that in your campaign when I was Bucket. I wanted to be a dragon.
You were a dragon for
like,
a while with weird stringy hair.
That was true. I was a dragon for a while.
Yeah,
Sometimes
you and
just gotta be a dragon.
the two druids were both dragons for a bit. But
I feel like that's like just the druid's dream. And I guess Maddie, being a plant person, even though you're a sorcerer, I think you're what we call honorary druid.
Yeah, well, yeah, being a blossomer, I actually get the druidcraft cantrip, and I can cast the little whip cantrip too. So, a little bit of one. And I'll tell you, for a while, Fox had a circlet, I think, made of daisies that could also have plant growth, and I was really considering trading her for that to give her that little bit of a bend. But yeah, I will say that the Wand of the One, by being able to like grow all the little blossomers around me, I think that continues the honorary without needing to, I guess, dip into it.
You can keep the purity of the sorcerer class, because you get some cool stuff late for really investing in a sorcerer too. So I always have trouble multi-classing, because I can't help but think, well, if I multi-class, then I won't get the level 20 feature. That's just always my thought process, even though it's usually you can make the most powerful things in 5e by multi-classing. I just feel like I'm missing out on the level 20 feature. Like, Druid's one of the ones that's the saddest if you don't get to just use your shape-changing move all the time.
Yeah. Although I think a lot of people are like, oh, Sorcerer Capstone at 20? Well, what can I multi-class into?
The Sorcerer one is a little bit underwhelming.
Wait, is that what you live forever?
No, the Sorcerer one is you get, I think, a bunch of sorcery points back.
If you don't have sorcery points at the start.
Druids. Never mind. That's the druid one. Yeah, no, the sorcery points, it's like what, 2 or something?
It's not impressive, yeah. I mean, it's something, but when you think of epic level sorcerers, you're like, oh yeah, the last boss, the final form comes by, and I don't have any sorcery points. I blew it all on the first form. Now I can get a second level spell slot back or something, maybe.
It's like, when's the last time I cast a second level spell? Man, it's been a while. It's not like you're a wizard and you have all these utility second level spells. You're just like, you just don't.
I'm almost like, Maddie, I'm almost considering, how do you feel about the figurines of Wondrous Power, Maddie?
Oh, I love those. I love those little duders.
Because I don't believe that there's one of the material brass at the moment. So maybe that's a direction that we could go. Yeah, I'm gonna start diving into this one. Did you
now, out of curiosity, in Bartholomew's bag, do you have any figurines of Adorable Power?
I have them here, but I don't have them in the bag.
I don't know. I feel like I mean, yeah, I certainly also have figurines of Adorable Power at hand, but I feel like we actually might have something like that. I mean, I guess there's the plushies. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. are the plushies that are in the bag. All right.
Okay. So while you guys have been chatting about the zip thing, I've been listening along, but I've been tapping away at this Bahamut and Tiamat item that I'm working on for Xandaril in the chat, otherwise known as Kurogan in D&D time. And I'm very excited where we're going so far. We've got Bahamut the shield and Tiamat the sword. And what do you think about this? I'd like your thoughts. And Maddie, if you wanna chime in, also interested. So it's
I'm here. I'll read along.
Yeah, as a reaction, when an ally you can see is harmed by a creature you can see, you may speak a word of righteous retribution, condemning its crime and protecting that creature. Whenever the condemned creature makes an attack or uses a hostile ability which would require a saving throw against the protected creature, you can impose. I was going to say you could like impose disadvantage on the thing, and then maybe attack back or something.
That's. I mean, yeah, that's very cool. What would Tiamat's wrath? Because that almost seems, or I guess that's justice. Is the idea that's it's when you're hit, it's retributive, as opposed to Tiamat's wrath, which I imagine is just a thing that you just do.
No, Tiamat's wrath is just going to be very brutal. It's just gonna
it just sounds almost like a smite.
Would it be too powerful if you made it a benign transposition and made the reaction to strike the foe because you swap places, and the attack would also be hitting your AC or saves?
Oh, we could do something like that. That might not.
Because I definitely see this gleaming. You have the god of all metallic dragons of this justice. Coming rushing in like in a flash, zoop, almost like a Q appearing on the bridge of the Enterprise, kind of a thing. You just do a benign transposition. You take the hit, or even if you say you auto take the hit, but then I don't know, you deal an attack back automatically or something like that. You can balance that out. But I think going for a little bit of showmanship, a benign transposition within like X feet might be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool idea. I like that. Protected. Yeah, you can swap places with protected creature.
Let's see.
Cool. Okay. Or use a hostility. Yeah, I like that a lot. And then maybe if the attack misses, you can use your reaction to. Well, no, because it's the shield. Ooh, I know. Maybe they just take a flat damage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kind of like that. So it's like so you become the target of the attack, and then the attack also takes like some radiant damage or something. Because that kind of works for the platinum dragon, to me at least.
Now, as a heads up, because I know that wording, and this is a first draft, but the particular wording and set phrases, this is when a particular conjuring master wizard would probably speak up and say, "You see, Jeremy, when you're conjuring benign transposition, you see, there is a size limitation to the creature with which you can transpose, of course."
But we're not doing a benign transposition, Maddie. I'm doing a Bahamut's justice. It's different. Easy.
Well, I mean, this conjuration wizard, of course, would account for that and allow any size, because he's just that powerful and rich.
Oh, well, then there's no problem.
I gotta warm up my Bartholomew voice if I'm gonna do a fun adventure for you guys.
Well, Alex is saying damage reflection. Take half the damage back. Yeah, but here's the thing, Alex. I want this to work even if, like, because I think Bahamut's justice is also like, you've tried to mind control someone, right? And that doesn't do any damage. So I think maybe if it's just like maybe an amount of damage to like your level or something like that. Is your level too much, Pete? Do you think?
That's a lot of damage.
A lot of damage. Maybe half your level in radiant damage. So it's auto damage too.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit more reasonable. Um, I'm gonna start diving in. Um, I'm gonna start diving into the math textbook now. I'm gonna come back to the brass dragon of wondrous power. But
Okay, so that's what we're sticking with, the Breast Dragon Wondrous Power. Maddie, you're happy with that?
Yeah.
as a direction, and we'll work out the devil will be in the details there. But
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think it's a very interesting direction, right? Like, it's so different than your other Bartholomew's Choice, Maddie, because the other one is very like open-ended and it can do so much like specific or like a huge variety of things, right? Very utilitarian. This one's just gonna be, I'm just a dragon.
Yeah.
Nice and
Hey,
simple, but
it's
still
simple,
very good.
straightforward. And I love the utilitarian nature because really she's a support sorcerer. She can do some damage, but really, a lot of her stuff is like fog cloud and you can't fly.
Indeed. Halo Dude is saying, so are these Bartholomew's Choices? Not quite Apex. I mean, sort of. Like, they are, but they aren't. We aren't going through our whole normal process that we do with Bartholomew's Choices. There's not going to be a ton of back and forth. Also, most of the folks when we reached out to them about this, they didn't have a lot of specific ideas. They had like a general kind of concept. Like in the past, we've had very specific Bartholomew's Choices. Like I know you have some very specific ideas, Apex, and that's why we're not doing yours right here, right now. We'll talk about that another point. But yeah, these are kind of, I'd say they're basically Bartholomew's Choice. Let's be honest. Like it's the same kind of vibe of legendary magic item with cool legacy ability.
yeah, I think the difference is going to be in the complexity rather than the power level. It might be just some simpler features that still pack the punch of a Bartholomew's Choice, but without the just kind of in a lot of ways, by the nature of the way the campaign's evolving right now, the slow building power over time system that's traditional to Bartholomew's Choices isn't necessarily as important.
Yeah, like we have
anymore,
these
so.
at different levels, things happen, and frankly, we just don't need those because very soon we're only going to have to worry about these 13th and 17th level features anyway, right? We're not going to have anyone with a level 1 character with a Bartholomew's Choice just at all through the rest of the game, unless something really weird happens, Pete. But I can't foresee it.
Yeah, who knows? You guys surprise us every week, so we never know what's going to happen. But
indeed. Oh no, I broke it. All right. Well, Maddie, I appreciate your input on the I guess what we're now calling a figurine of exceptionally wondrous power. If you want, you can just kind of hang out, or I don't want to, make you think you have to sit around and watch us work on other stuff too. Whatever is easiest for you. It's all good.
Okay, yeah, I can hang out for a bit. I'll be quiet for a little bit if you need to drag some other people up, but I don't know if I can lend some ears and eyes or something. I'll be happy to do so.
Alrighty, yeah, absolutely. And I know. Okay, so well, Pete gets some starting. Actually,
I'm gonna get into it now.
Is Dandere here?
I saw Dandere earlier. I haven't seen them in the chat yet.
I was talking a little bit before, and basically, the vibe they want to go for is.
Oh, cool! You already have some info on this.
Yeah. They really want Polynomial, their math goblin, to kind of become a kind of focal point. Their math goblin character to become a kind of focal point for them in Legend tier, and I think that's just because there's so much that can like interweave and tie into the story of like the Calculord and the math goblins and all of that. Yeah, I mean, all we knew is this was going to be a spell book that was kind of, it's the math book, right? It's a math textbook.
Yes.
And I was just thinking, like, rather than even, I see you've made a bunch of features here.
Yeah, I'm just throwing some stuff in.
What if they were just spells? What if it's just 5 cool spells that are unique, cool math goblin spells?
Yeah, that's actually kind of the thing that I had in mind. I was probably going to do more of a
or it can be more than 5, it can be whatever. But
yeah, I was. Or were you thinking 5 existing 5e spells that
No. I was thinking, like, for example, like we created, what was that math goblin? The one for the trigonome,
I know what you're talking about.
quadratic orb or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
As a
That is
suggestion,
not the full PEMDAS.
if you're talking about math goblins, I know that some of the content in Guildmaster's Guide for the low tier adventuring was not usable for D&D time, but I don't know, there might be some cool Izzet stuff, the Izzet spell list that could be reflected as a math goblin thing, or a background feature or something like that.
Yeah, there were some pretty cool. There was at least 1 or 2 items, right?
I'll have to crack open my book, but if you want me to help out, I can look for it.
Yeah, well,
Jeremy, let me throw you my kind of my idea.
Yeah, you're taking the lead on it. What do you
want? This is what I was kind of thinking. I wanted to do some very traditional, like, because I know that I've been running the math goblins a long time. I wanted to do some.
They are your children.
Yeah, I wanted to do some classic math goblin abilities, which was just very which were just some very sort of basic controlling the outcomes of like rolls stuff and like increasing damage mathematically. So I was thinking for something like addition to be like, yeah, you can add you can expend charges to like add numbers to your roll, because I love the idea of being able to do
it's
like
almost like a sorcery points kind of vibe.
Yeah, something like that. Like, so I would love the idea of being able to like spend 1 point if you roll the 19 to roll that up into a crit, because you added 1 to your dice, essentially.
Interesting.
And yeah, some cheaty dice is basically what I'm getting at.
I'm into it.
Yeah, I think it'll be very crisp and play into that math goblin vibe. So that's the direction I'm going to go, at least off the at least off the bat.
Yeah, math goblins are munchkins. Yeah, really.
Yeah, math goblins really are. They have the most busted mechanic of any creature ever, which is squaring their damage dice. What? That was actually a Jeremy original, the square dice for math, the math book.
Okay. Was it me?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right, so maybe Tiamat is like, what's the thing called? What's the sword? I don't want it to be a Vorpal sword, but I want it to do some wild shit. Okay. Again, a +3 damage attacking the angels made with this magic great sword. Do I want to actually have a plus to damage or to hit? I don't know. No, I think I want to go the Flame Tongue route, where it does extra damage. Okay. Do I want it to be fire damage? Okay, what are the chromatic dragon types? We got cold, we got fire, we've got acid. What else do we have? Cold, fire, acid.
Lightning.
Yep, lightning. And cold, acid.
Poison.
Poison, thank you. Jeez. I remember. Make attack. Weapon. No action required. Yeah, and I think we can still call these Bartholomew's choices. I'm very happy still calling them Bartholomew's choices. They're more like, honestly, they're more like what our original kind of concept was for the Bartholomew's choice, which was you guys give us a thing that you care about, and Pete and I make a very cool thing out of it. Right? That's the original Bartholomew's choice. What it was originally supposed to be. So these are perhaps the purest Bartholomew's choices, as Bartholomew is choosing what they are.
Yeah, that was the original form of them for sure.
I see in the chat Alex saying that it was originally +1. Yeah, I think that's fair. We can just make that we can do that. Except I still think +3 is way too much. So we'll do it with the plus. Yeah, we'll do it with the +1.
What do we do for these?
In position. Sword to deals. Okay.
Just that copy pasta.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same, Alex. +3 in the bonus damage. We're getting into like cuckoo bananas territory, even for just the one thing. But the +1 to damage and the extra, I think that's perfectly fine. It's a very good item right now. So we've got the basic 2 features of the shield and the sword, and I think they're fine. Doesn't matter. Are they too strong? I almost want to make this a +2 and then an extra 1d6 of the damage type, but then it's only 1d6. And we'll keep it at 2d6. Half your level, yeah, it's fine. Okay. All right. Now, what's the thing that makes these super special for Kurogant? Maybe like, so we really don't have the transforming aspect. I mean, we do kind of on the Tiamat's Wrath, right? It changes its damage type and and ignores resistance to that damage type.
You could look into if you want to do a transforming element to it. You could.
Mhm.
Does the shield have a +1 on it?
No, it doesn't. It's just regular shield. Well, it's a regular. I say it's a regular shield. It's a regular shield that protects the absolute crap out of someone.
If you want it to be transforming, I feel like you could put Bahamut and Tiamat on 2 different sides of the same coin and throw Bahamut on the shield and Tiamat on the sword and choose which one you're focusing at any given time. If you want there to be like a transformation aspect
Yeah.
to it, you do like a binary switch back and forth.
I kind of like having both of them at the same time, honestly.
I'm saying you would then want to do other things to make them better, because as it stands, yeah, both of them is a lot more fun as it is. So you'd have to do other stuff to work with that. But if you want to do a transforming aspect, I think that's the cleanest way to do it.
The Tiamat's one has some transforming in it already, just because it transforms its damage types, and then we can give it its kind of final form, I guess, where they kind of merge together. And that I think that would suffice. I think so, at least. What do we want to call that? The shield is dope. Yeah, no, the shield's definitely dope. This needs to be the reaction though, but I don't want it to. Here's what we can do. Well, you build the shield whenever. No action required. Cool. No, because I want this to be able to use in the same attack. As a reaction, when you can see is harmed by creature. I'll forget distance. See, right distribution, containing crime, yeah, okay. Okay. So the question I have now is: does this need to be a once per? Alex, let's ask. Alex, what do you think? Do you think that the Bahamut's shield? Do you think it's like you pick one creature to protect against one other creature, or do you think that you can use your reaction to like protect a different creature on a subsequent turn? I think you can. It's just then you're not protecting that same creature. It's only single creature using this feature. Yeah, I agree. Okay, as long as you're not protecting like a bazillion. Actually, does that matter though? Because you only have one reaction. So I don't even know if I need to put that on there. I don't think there's anything that gives you. Peter, is there anything that gives you extra reactions? Like Cavalier, maybe gives you extra.
I think it gives you specifically opportunity attacks, but doesn't refresh your reaction.
Yeah, well, you know what? If there's something that breaks that, oh well.
Yeah, that's very much our mindset right now. I think Jeremy has hit the nail on the head there.
I mean, the intention's pretty clear. Not going to worry too much about the exact if, and, or buts about it. Dragon God's judgment. Very well, Alex. Your wish is my command. Such is the word. So this. I don't know. Is Shield Blade a word?
It is now.
Well, it is now. It's a good word. What does this do? Okay, so let me get my. I really like these guys, and I know that I'm weird for it, but I need my Unicode small black square for my formatting here to make myself happy. Anything is a word if you believe it is. I think so. I am with you here. Oh, and here's what I want this to do. Yeah, okay, here we go. So that's what they do. So when we're joined together, the Tiamat stuff does extra damage against the Bahamut target, and maybe the Bahamut target does something different. Kind of like they work together. Yeah, okay, I'm liking this. Windows key period? Does that do that? Oh, we got an emoji keyboard. You learn a new thing every day. Oh, so this probably has my small black square somewhere. It does! Huh. It's not working now. Do I drag it on him? Yep, don't know how this works. I have been befuddled. Like an anime protagonist. Yeah, right. I think that's kind of the vibe of this artifact here. And that's kind of exactly the point of it, right? It's to be the hero, to protect people. Let's okay. I should be able to click to insert. Yeah, I don't know if it's working because of I'm on Google keyboard. I'm on Google's whatever. It is a shame. I appreciate the heads up though, Anastasia. That's actually very good to know. I didn't know that existed. The emoji keyboard. Okay. So what the hell else does this do? Oh, I gotcha. I see. Halo just got it to work. Lol. So extra damage being doubled makes tons of sense. Now, what can I do with Bahamut's Justice that ties into the Tiamat's Wrath? I'm in fact obsessed with dragons, so yeah. No, very fair. This is where I kind of I've hit a wall already. I mean, this is a feature I need to like.
Jeremy, you want to take your mind off it for a second and see where I'm working over here?
Yeah. What do you got, Pete? What do you got?
Yeah, I'm
all on what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm working on the math book here, and it's getting into a place. I mean, we're going to work up the flavor text in a moment here, but it has the core feature. I did it as a traditional Bartholomew's choice here, but it has a core feature here.
159 and yeah, okay.
Yeah, which allows you to basically increase a roll by 1 by expending 1 charges. One charge, you have a charge equal to, I don't need to say wizard level. If you don't want to multi-class, that's fine. So equal to your level. So you can maybe one time, like, I think it's interesting that basically it's, if you really want to use it for this, it's one time, it's just a crit. If you want to do it that way. The other things here, the addition and subtraction parallel off of each other. Addition lets you expend 2 charges to throw an extra damage dice on a spell that you're doing of that same damage type. Subtraction lets you take away a damage dice from an enemy thing that's targeting you, which I think is, and that says a reaction specifically for the same scale of 2 charges. And then as we're moving into multiplication and divination and the capstone here, I'm doing single use effects. So that's probably the only points that are going to interact with the charge system. So there's going to be a lot of flexibility in just using these features a lot and kind of like controlling the income and output of damage in that way. Multiplication gives you a single use of double casting a spell. So you could be like, my lightning bolt is 2 lightning bolts.
Yeah, all right.
And the capstone square spell, Jeremy, does exactly what you think it is, specifically to a cantrip. But once per day, you can do a square cantrip. And that's the 17th level feature. Which, for anyone unfamiliar with Math Goblin mechanics, squaring a cantrip would mean you would take each individual damage dice from that cantrip, and rather than doing it as a just a normal damage dice, each dice individually would be squared. So theoretically, if you did at 17th level, if you cast the Firebolt cantrip, if you rolled an unfathomable amount of luck, you could do 400 damage with that cantrip. More realistically, it's just going to do a lot of damage. But yeah,
wild.
Yep, 17th Jeremy, 17th level, baby. Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. And I don't know. I feel like that's what's in the Math Goblin brand, is just really like their brand has always been so gamey, and I think that this really like really leans into that. Which
Gotta get that gaminess in there.
Yeah, I think Dendari will have fun with this. I'm stuck on division a little bit. Do you have any cool thing for division? Because I was starting to think, oh, well, you divide a spell and it's the same thing. I realized that because multiplication and division are at their core actually the same thing. So, which I guess is true for addition and subtraction too. But does anything immediately hit you on that?
My thought would be something like dividing the damage of an enemy attack. So it'd be like, enemy hits you with like a big attack, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna divide it by something.
Wait, let me.
Would it be too much if you divided the hit points of the party among, like, to average it out? So it's kind of like a healing, but it takes hit points from others.
That's like a.
You get what I'm saying?
We're talking about distributions there.
Let me, Jeremy. Let me throw this at you. Once when you get hit, it can't be dividing it by itself. It can't be you just make an attack a damage source 1, because I think that's just too much. But how do you feel about taking the square root of damage and allowing Tandere as the Math Goblin to have a fractional amount of health?
Oh no.
Can you have like Can you have 0.33 repeating? Can you have 0.766398724 health? Only this one character.
I like what chat was saying here. Roll a D whatever, like a D4, and divide the damage you take by that number.
Divided by the number. I think I can get behind that.
I mean, fractional health, that is a recipe for disaster.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's awful. Jeremy, it's like I thought you of all people would have been so behind. You who like to give people like 3 Bartholomew bucks would have been so behind someone being able to have 0.799832 health.
I do it to be cruel, not for any other reason.
But if you just divide by 0 and it's a counterspell type effect.
Divide by 0 might be another direction to go. Well, but I feel like there's a school of thought where if you divide by 0, if you divide their damage by 0, then it's infinite. Which means you would die. Dividing by 0 has to always kill you in Math Goblin terms. Because just like I'm not going to talk about. I don't want to talk about. I hate math.
Oh, there's a similar effect for the bee, the werebees. They have this big final sting, and it kind of knocks them out.
That's true. That's true. The bee lichens. Do you think, uh, Maddie, that you will ever use the bee sting?
Yes.
Thank you, Maddie.
If the opportunity comes, I have just the thing in mind for it.
It's just that was one of it's such a dumb bit of design to put that on there, but it's one of my favorite things that we've ever done is have the dumb bee sting that knocks you out. I'm looking back at that feature now because I just want to see
And
it
it's
again.
amazing. It's just objectively great.
Did we originally have, because right now it just reduces you to 0 hit points and you can't use it again. Jeremy, did we originally have it as it kills you?
Oh, I'm sure that was one of the.
I feel like there was an iteration of that where it was just like when you use this, you die.
Because Maddie, it's like 2d12 damage or something, right?
Yeah, poison.
Originally, it was like 6 or 8 d12, but it kills you. It was like a really brutal move. It was just like, oh well, it's the bee sacrifice. Okay, I figured out what I was gonna do for this as Dragon God's Judgment. When you protect a creature and the attack misses you, you get to make an attack using your sword as part of the reaction. And then final thing, what's its final like bullet that is like its own special thing? What is it? What do I do with it? I feel like there needs to be a third thing. There needs to be a bullet number 3. Chat, what do you think? I need one more. You know what? Actually, I know V Bunny had some ideas. Let me look down in the place. Where was it? For review. Transformed into a dragon wormling. Oh gosh. Well, that's definitely not going to work for what we were doing there. And then Sword had an idea. Oh, Sword had an idea. Oh, I really like just the name of this first one, Pete. To the 4th power for the Math Goblin. Or the Math Book. Once per day, when the player rolls damage on a spell on one or multiple targets, they can pick one of the dice roll and multiply its damage by 4. Oh.
I was afraid that it was going to quad it. To raise it to the 4th power rather than multiplying it by 4. But yeah, it's cool.
And let's see, the power flow through you as actually one of the elements. I mean, that's at 3rd level. I do really like that idea, Sword, the Dragon's Breath idea. But I think Alex can already cast Dragon's Breath. I think it's already a feature that Kurogan can do. Oh, I know how this goes. Alex, if you're still in the chat, did we do an auto mega crit buster attack used once for combat? Okay, yeah, he does have max damage on Dragon's Breath. Okay, I thought so. No, I don't want to do that. Yeah, make a buster attack. Yeah. I'm trying to think of how to do that, Alex. I'm trying to think of how to do it. This is already so powerful. It's a very, very powerful weapon. Yeah, you know what? I guess. There we go. Actually, that was easy. You can just get a free crit once per day. Okay. Once per day is an action. Here we go. I'm very happy with this now. Okay. Hmm. Okay, here we go.
Jeremy, this is a classic math goblin power, but it might be too goofy. Tell me what you think of this one.
Okay.
For division. As a bonus action on your turn, you can divide yourself into two parts that continue to move together in parallel. Your size is reduced by one category. When you're subjected to an effect that would require you to make a saving throw, you may attempt the save with each of your divided selves. If either succeeds, you succeed on the saving throw. If either fails, this effect ends. That's an old math goblin power. From way back in the day. There was a divider math goblin that just cut himself up into a bunch of little pieces, little versions of himself.
That's very good.
That's a one a day, obviously.
Each one makes a save, because that way, if they have advantage for any reason,
yeah, they both get the advantage.
They both can roll with advantage.
And if they both succeed, then they get to keep going. It only ends once one of them fucks up.
Okay, so this is where I'm at. I think. Whoops. I think I'm in a very good place with this. So, Bahamut and Tiamat, Great Sword and Shield, legendary, requires attunement by a Dragonborn. This blade and shield bear the unmistakable sheen of draconic scales from whence they are formed. Red, black, green, white, and blue scales, each relating to 5 chromatic dragons, make up the jagged blade of Tiamat. Silver, gold, bronze, copper, and brass scales, each relating to one of the 5 metallic dragons, make up the gleaming face of the shield Bahamut. These artifacts magically repel each other, and only one of true dragon's blood can bring them to fight together. Bahamut's Justice. While he wields the shield as a reaction, when an ally you can see is harmed by a creature that you can see, you can speak a word of righteous retribution, condemning its crime and protecting the creature. As part of that reaction, and as a reaction on subsequent turns, when the condemned creature would make an attack or use a hostile ability that would require a saving throw targeting the protected creature, you can magically swap places with the protected creature if they are willing, causing you to become the target of the attack and causing the condemned creature to take radiant damage equal to half your level. And then Tiamat's Wrath, you have a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic greatsword. In addition, the sword deals an extra 2d6 fire damage to any target it hits and ignores resistance to fire damage. When you make an attack using this weapon, you can change the extra damage dealt by the weapon to cold, acid, lightning, or poison, and the sword's attacks ignore damage of, or ignore that type of damage. So ignore damage of that type. If you are the Golden God, you gain the following benefits. Dragon God's Judgment. Once per day as an action, you can bring together the blade of Tiamat and the shield of Bahamut into the shield blade of Asgarath, Lord of all dragons. In addition to retaining the benefits of Tiamat's Wrath and Bahamut's Justice, you gain additional benefits listed below for 1 minute. The elemental damage of Tiamat's Wrath is doubled against creatures condemned by Bahamut's Justice. Whenever you use your Bahamut's Justice to become the target of an attack and the attack misses, you can make an attack using Tiamat's Wrath as part of the same reaction. And when you would hit a creature with using Tiamat's Wrath that is condemned by Bahamut's Justice, you can choose to make the attack a critical hit. When you use this feature, the combined form of the Dragon God's Judgment ends early, and you immediately gain 2 levels of exhaustion.
I like the auto crit. It's very cool.
Yeah, I do too. It's a good buster attack.
You always gotta have a nice final move.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I just think it's very cool. I like it a lot. And I think the 2 levels of exhaustion and ending the combined form is enough to really give it like enough of a drawback that like when you use it, it's gonna feel sick, right? It's like the sacrifice kind of vibe.
Oh yeah.
Alex, you're liking it? I think it's dope too. I very much like it. All right, so we need a quote for that. Gosh, I'm on Asgarath Forgotten Realms fandom wiki. Asgarath is the progenitor of, well, that split into Tiamat and Bahamut, according to Forgotten Realms lore, which maybe we don't care about. I don't know. But there are no good quotes on this, which make me sad. So I guess I'll find a quote at some point. Quotes are weird. Like sometimes I start with a quote, sometimes I end with a quote. We'll figure it out. It's gonna go perfectly with the armor. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to do more dragon stuff, right, than you already have with your armor set, Alex. But I think this is good. I think I'm very happy here. Let me give this boy a highlight so I know to do it later. And I'm going to call that one a wrap. Basic Principles of Algebra 5th edition. Very nice.
How do you do what's the hotkey for superscript? I thought it was Control period, and that's what I was using.
I think it's Control plus.
Oh, don't know what that did, but that wasn't it. Oh, I zoomed in. Okay.
Maybe not. Oh.
How do I not know how to make superscript on
It
Google
is.
Docs?
It's period. Control period, Pete.
I don't know why.
Subscript.
Yeah, I know that control. It just wasn't working for me for some reason.
You sure you weren't pressing Control plus?
No, I'm 100%. I'm hitting it right now. I'm certain of that. That's weird.
Alex, I'm glad you like it.
It's by Euler. That's who came up with that one.
I think you mean Euler.
Fair enough. You got me. You know what, Jeremy? You got me on that one.
Get mathed, Pete. There aren't many of those I can win. I'll take the ones I can. All right.
In italics, of course. Do you know how to make a pi symbol also? So long as you're showing me how to do basic things, I should know how to do on a computer.
No. Oh yeah, no. Actually, let me get it for you, Pete. I go to Google and I search.
Yeah, I figured.
Pi, and then I find the symbol, which it's not showing me, which I'm kind of surprised about.
I don't need the.
There it is.
I don't need the raised because it's in superscript now.
Perfect. And then there we go, Pete.
Jeremy, did you know that little fun little equation?
No, I have no idea what that equation is.
It's equal to 0. It's wild, isn't it? Isn't it wild that e to the I pi is +1 equals 0? I mean, obviously it's.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
it just works in the three most beloved constants and like all the like. Anyway, it's just a cool little math thing. That's gotta be iPod.
I'm gonna italicize Euler here because I think he deserves it. All right, so we've got two down. You think? I'm pretty happy with these. See, this is a wild thing, folks. We've been here for an hour and a half already. We got two, maybe. We got two and like some ideas about a third, and this is like. This is remarkable. This is actually really good. We're never this fast.
Oh yeah, this is unbelievably brisk for us.
Yeah, these take a very long time. I spent a third of it chatting it up. Oh, absolutely. But it's the kind of thing where you can't just sit down and actually, honestly, Sword, the chatting it up is probably what helped why it went so quickly, right? It helps to have help, like Alex was saying. It also helps to just talk through your ideas, right? Like saying, okay, so we got a shield and a sword, and saying that out loud, and then saying, and a dragon theme. And he's like, all right, so I got two kind of opposites and dragon. Oh, ding dong, Bahamut, Tiamat, right? Like saying it out loud made that connection for me, but thinking it might not have done that. All right, so we got one down, or we got two down.
It's 10:30, Jeremy. You want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a quick break, and when we get back, folks, we will, I guess, do more of these. Let's get some more stuff done. We'll see you all soon.
Sounds good to me. See you soon.
All right, we're back. We're live again. Hey, everybody. We're back making more of these items. I'm trying to figure out a name for this one. I have a really good idea for it.
Jeremy, I'm going to send you that track right now. Because this track is very good. For anyone who's an I guess indie music fan, you can also listen to the track that I just gave Jeremy to listen to, which I'm enjoying right now, in Off Topic on our Discord.
Pete, what's this track?
It's called
can't
Papaya.
put it on the screen because of that.
It's called, oh yeah, you can't play on stream, but it's called Papaya by Twisted Pine. It's just a good song. It gets me in a very happy mood.
Papayas, so like that's definitely a good starting point.
It's got a really impressive flute soloist. Cool. Let's get back into it. Making a figurine of Wondrous Power. Jeremy, can you scroll me down a bit?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not a problem at all, my man. Let me get the text for a figurine of Wondrous Power to start with, because that's what we're going to base this on. I have a cool idea for this mechanic, because I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, you could go, I guess, by like an age progression thing where it's more powerful dragons, but that's not... Zuzib's Dragon Lover is an ancient brass dragon, and that's all there is to it. Like, he's not going to summon a younger version of that dragon. It's just, that's who the dragon is. So, what we're going to do is, rather than gating the stat block, we are going to take features off of the stat block. And then, as the levels go up, we are going to reintroduce those features. So, like, it's full multi-attack isn't something that you would get at level 1. You would just get like a single, you'd get a single attack from this dragon. At level 1, actually, you wouldn't even get probably any attacks. You would just get a, it can fly you places. And so we're going to gate it like that, because I think that's an effective way of doing this. But before we can do anything, we need that figurine of Wondrous Power set up. Well, Levy works the other way. Levy gets promotions, but I feel like that's not right for your patron, Maddie. Because I want you to have I want you to have an ancient dragon always, because that's just what makes sense.
Let's go with that. All right. I'm onto a new thing. I'm going to try this, and we're going to see how the hell this goes. That's such a fucking fancy word. I hate that. That's not what I want for this. I'm going to change this already. The Cobalt Tooth Necklace is such a more fitting word, I think, for what I want to do. Rather than the brass crown Riviere. No. Let's see. So we're going to highlight everything in yellow. And we'll come back to this. Oh no, Maddie!
What got a lot. I think you can make it work. It's a lot of owls, though. You got lucky right at the end with this 4 continents, because you'd have been in a real rough shape If your
Well, I
dragon's
think the
name was
first one. I think they should
Arugula.
have two names, and I think the first one should be Uea, and then you can figure out what you want to do with the last 5 letters.
Elwolf was helping me generate some numbers with dice set, so this is the pool we're working with. So as word warriors, we must construct a name to invoke this dragon.
We've done
Okay, this is
we've
gonna.
done word
I don't
warriors in a
need
long
this.
time. I'd like to
It's
bust
been a
out the old pen and paper. I guess the old dictionary is a better. They didn't do the 100-word RPG challenge this year. I guess kind of or 200-word, kind of unsurprisingly.
Yeah, it's kind of there's something going on. Man, what is it?
You're referring to. I was trying to come up with. I was trying to come up with like another thing that was going on right now that wasn't the obvious thing, and then I thought, oh well, all of those things are kind of bad too.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm working on a different magic. I'm working on what I wanted to give it like a fancier name, but I'm calling it the Kobold Tooth Necklace. And this is designed to be, and I want to open up my notes so I got them. This is a magical item. It's actually for two characters. Two characters are going to have this item and be able to use it and benefit from it. And they are Kokala and Zeta, both kobolds of the Brass Crown family. And the idea for this is it's like, I was thinking like it's a wedding gift kind of vibe, and then I was like, well, the purpose of it is it's supposed to be almost like a paired thing, where like you're better together, right? And it ties into their character's backstory, which is they are both kobolds. They are actually they're royal kobolds, and that they have this big family, and that's really important to them. And so that's like, I think that's the real key of what I want to. Whoopsies! Oh no. That's the real thing that like I want to make sure works here, I guess, for lack of a better term. I want to make sure that the whatever. I want to make sure that that is conveyed, right? That their family is in here somewhere, and that they're better when they're together kind of tone is here. And so that's where I'm at right now. So this is a wondrous. What are they? How do we call those? Pete? Is it a wondrous item? Or is it a wondrous object?
Wondrous item.
Okay, I thought so. So like I'm second guessing myself. It's a necklace, and it is the Kobold Tooth necklace. And I thought it'd be really cute if it was a simple necklace that just had like the baby teeth of their many kobold kids. I thought that would be. I see. Saz is putting together some ideas. Oh my goodness, and they're real words. All right, let's see. I would not have come up with real words. I would have just made an absolute horrible mismatch, an abomination of letters. What's the term I want to use here? What's the term for prodigious? Is not the term. Is prodigious a term?
I mean, prodigious is a great word.
Yeah, prodigious is the term I want to use. Yep. No. It must be prodigious. Oh no! Don't worry about Don't worry about that. That's leftover text, Max. This is not what I'm creating right now. That was from a different item I made earlier. We're not working on that right now. We're working on a different item entirely.
Yeah, don't.
That's why it was highlighted in yellow. Also, Max, I'm glad you're here. What a perfect time.
Right,
no, what did you do?
Right on time.
Yeah, right on time. Max, this is what I thought. I want your opinion if you think it's cool. The idea is it's like a leather cord, and it on it is like one baby tooth from each of the from each of your children as they were growing up. And the idea is like, yeah, I think it is. I'm not sure how exactly that works, but I'll figure it out. Maybe it's something that just each of you have. You each have one of them, maybe. And that for each of the kids, they could help you in some kind of way. And that when you two are together, maybe the little benefits are doubled. Was my thought, and I thought it would just give a whole bunch of little fun things. Hello, Weary Warlord. Welcome. We're making some magical items here. Instead of secretive, one is mysterious. Oh, Pete, you're ripping along on that, huh?
Most of that is a figurine of wondrous power text.
Oh.
So don't give me too much credit.
Well, you tricked me.
But we're about to start moving because I got this to a point now where we just, if you are not Zuzip, you have this statue where you summon a giant ancient dragon and then you can use it to like fly around for a minute, but you can't. It doesn't do anything else, which is, I actually think that works for me as a legendary item. Just like being able to summon a dragon and have one. I mean, at worst, is just like a flying get out of jail free card. It's like, think a legendary item, even if that dragon isn't gonna ruin people for you. But it's going to. This dragon.
I mean, a magic carpet is a very rare item.
Yeah, and this is just like a very cool version of a magic carpet, you could say.
I agree. I agree with what Max is saying. By the way, I like the idea of it having different sets of benefits for both of them, and then maybe if you're together, you both get both benefits. Might be a cool idea. That's kind of my thought process. That way, that we still get that better together vibe in there, but you also get your own kind of more privatized things. Yeah, they are both casters' blood, but they do very different things, right? Bards are a little bit more. Typically be a little bit more supporty, yeah, Oh, and actually, that's a great question. Since both of you are here, Blood and Halo, I was thinking about the Dakar and Hiyori item for quite a while, and I was thinking, and let me know if you think this is cool, a saddle of shoulder riding. I don't know what it does or how it works, but that's what I was thinking. Let's see. Oh, I love this sword. It has a really cool idea for the Better Together vibe. They can use the help action as a bonus action, helping each other. So I really like that I'm just gonna put that text in there for now, and we'll come back to it. I wonder if there are any other. Look at what V-Bunny has to say for the Better Together thing. Telepathic link. Yeah, maybe. Well, of course, you already have something like that, but I'm just saying it could have some real oomph to it, some real power. But let me know what you think about that. If that doesn't excite you, then don't worry about it. I'll just come up with something different. Let's see. No, I don't want that.
What is the damage? Oh, that's a lot of damage. How much damage do you think the fire breath does from an ancient brass dragon, Jeremy?
Ancient
You
brass.
just had to guess, yeah. Brass is one of the reasonable ones.
Yeah. 18d6.
That's 16d6. Pretty good bid.
Yeah, because I think red is 22, right?
Yes, I believe so.
That's what I was basing it on. No, it's 26. Holy shit! Wow, that's a lot of damage. All right. So I think what I want to do here, Pete, I'm gonna just steal some stuff here real quick.
Yeah, grab it up.
Because what I want to do is I want to copy. There we go. Boop. Boop. There we go. Okay. Okay.
Jeremy, can you do me a favor? Can you just click somewhere on my screen so it's not highlighted? That's going to drive me crazy. Thank you.
No, I won't.
Thank you very much, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's as cool as you get. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. So now I gotta start putting the stuff together. Kokala is a bard. Let's see. What does Kokala love to do? Do I have any notes? Let's see. Okay. I'm going to start with the paired one. So I'm going to say Uavu. Peach. What a good name. I guess Uavu is the
Oh wait, where did we end? Oh, we have a name.
We have a name. I want to do that.
Uavu. I like it. I can copy and paste it into a bunch of places now.
I like this idea Sword has, but I'm not even going to worry about the action economy of it. I don't even think I need headers for that. Got to go get my small black square. So I've got some ideas for this.
How do you feel about for the capstone? For Uavu's capstone feature here, the title would be "True Uavu."
Why, Pete?
Because you can use multi-attack then.
True Uavu sounds like a bottled drink I'd probably pay $6 for at the grocery store.
$6. $5.99.
Well, all right.
Plus tax.
Yeah, well, you got to pay the deposit. Jeremy, are deposits, you would know, is deposits universal? I'm sheltered.
Yes, they are.
Okay. I'm sheltered and don't know if that's just a local
They're
thing.
higher here.
Oh.
Let's see. Max was saying, I'm listening. Yeah, Max, so here's my idea, right? There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff that I think, like, I want to start with what they get together, and then I'll worry about what they get individually. So the thing that I think about together is when they would roll for initiative. My thought is that you each just take the maximum roll that one of you get.
That's a really cool idea.
Blood. I don't think it's necessarily a huge issue. I mean, there are certain things that I think are perfectly fine for both of these items to have. Like, I don't think there's necessarily a problem with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I
And
don't
if you,
see an issue in there being
yeah,
overlap.
yeah, especially when they're both like supposed to be paired kind of vibes. Yeah, so the idea, Max, like say you roll a 4 and Kokla rolls 20, you'd both get the 20, and then you choose who goes first of the two of you. No, I need to rephrase how I'm writing it, but yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't both just get
Yeah.
auto nat 20s. That'd be crazy. Not that that would be that out of the normal that something was crazy on one of these items, but
Yeah, I mean
you know
that could be a thing, but that would be like the thing.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna actually worry about that. I don't think we need that particular detail.
Yeah, and again, Apex and Blood, if you guys have ideas, please do share them. Whether it be in the chat here or in the chat on Discord, the private chat, both fine. It's just we need to know what you're thinking of so that we can do it. Let's see. What else? So we got that. So that's pretty straightforward. And I think the initiative. Ow, God, my hair. I think the initiative works. I don't have to say they choose which goes first. I think I can just say that they both go at the same time, and y'all can just decide that. What else do we want? What else?
Zuzip was in on the pocket creature adventure, so you could always turn this into a pocket creature too if you want to lean into that lore.
I feel like there's
a pocket creature?
I feel like there's something diminutive about that though to Uavu. If you like that vibe, we can do it. But I feel like that's almost mean to Uavu, who's kind of like, you're not a warlock, Zuzip, or Maddie, but I've always really felt like Uavu was almost like your patron. You know what I mean? Like it really has that vibe to me.
Well, yeah, because she wouldn't have had the magic that she does without his gifts. So it's just instead of a smidge of power, it's sharing that bond of their relationship.
Okay.
So it's something that changes her on the genetic level, not just hers the receptacle of power, which is also why I wanted to take her through this journey of changing. That's also what helped break her away from the other Zuzips and turn her into an individual.
And so I feel like the title of this Figurine of Wondrous Power Brass Dragon is actually probably wrong. It should be Figurine of Wondrous Power Uavu.
Yeah.
Maddie, since you're here and I can ask you this, would you like a quote? Do you have a quote in mind for your item? Because we always do a little quote. It's just flavor text, and I can throw something on there if you don't. But
Ooh, I'll
would you
have
like
to
choose your own quote?
Yeah, I'll have to think up of something here. Give me a couple minutes while you guys are still working. I'll come up with like a sentence or two.
Hells yeah.
And I'm fine with it being a figurine of wondrous power, though if not a pocket creature capsule, then I'll throw out what looks like a peach that'll then turn into the brass dragon.
Peach. Hopefully you can grow it. Just grow the peach.
Yeah.
So I like the idea here that for you guys, Max and Flipnote, that whenever Kokole uses their bardic inspiration, Zeta automatically gains the benefits of it as well, even if they aren't the target. Zeta's just always inspired by yeah. That's I think that's cute. And then what else? Zeta, you're a sorcerer. Yeah, and actually, we can do the same kind of vibe for Zeta. Because Zeta is a sorcerer. Yeah.
Maddie, what's your patron's pronoun? He was
Yeah, he.
Okay, cool.
Oh, Max is in the Discord. No, I'm gonna bring up Max for a minute if you guys don't mind. And then we can. Yeah, because I want to get his thoughts on it. Hey, Max. Oh.
Hello.
How's it going?
Doing good.
So, what do you think of what I've put together so far, Max?
So I like what you have so far.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the benefits you have so far when they're together. The Kokla and Zeta get the higher initiative of whoever rolls, of whatever the rolls, and
Mm-hmm.
I like the help actions really neat too. So, and those last two are just perfect to complement each other. So basically every time Kokla uses her bard specialty. Yeah, I'm eating popcorn. Sorry.
Okay. Yum yum yum. Yeah, every time Kokla uses their bardic inspiration on someone else, you also gain the benefit.
And every time Zeta uses meta magic, Kokla gets the same benefit. However, my issue with the Zeta portion, the meta magic portion, is the meta magic only is like. So does that mean like the next spell that Kokla casts gets affected by it? I would assume.
Yep. So if you use like an empowered spell, next time they cast a spell, it gets empowered.
Yeah, because like for example, I have the one that lets me do the long shot, which is what I used in that one adventure where I sniped a guy 200 feet away.
Yeah, I mean that's a really cool way to get a extra long healing word or something in too.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you normally can't do.
Yeah,
I really like that. It's like a fun way that you play off of each other.
Yeah.
Did you have any thoughts for like the kind of special stuff that you wanted Zeta to get? Like this is just for Zeta special stuff.
I'm trying to think because I'd have to look upon some stuff because right now Zeta's a draconic sorcerer. Maybe it enhances some of his draconic sorcerer traits or something. I don't know.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like you're as the the patriarch of the Brass Crown family, and Kokla is the matriarch of the Brass Crown family, right? Maybe there are certain things like maybe Zeta has more like draconic like features despite being a kobold.
Yeah. Yeah, because right now I'm also trying to look up I'm looking up the draconic thing just to get an idea of what I can, because
Yeah, because Draconic Bloodline, it gives you a I think it's a +1 to AC. It gives you what else does it give you? I think that's it. Maybe some hit points, extra hit points or something. Halo Dude was asking in chat, is the Moonborn or Glacialis being done here? Halo Dude, because those are very specific, you have a very specific vision for those. We're not going to be doing them on this kind of more open forum stream, but we will be in touch with you about them. Yeah, I mean, Zeta, what's your armor class on Zeta currently? Do you know that off the top?
Yes, actually, Zeta is a surprising armor class of 16 because of high dex, and I think Draconic Resilience also adds something to that.
Yeah. So let's see. It's 13 plus your dexterity modifier.
Yeah, and my dex bonus is 3, so, and I'm not wearing armor.
How would you so what if we call this feature like Dragon Patriarch, right? Because it's like that's kind of the vibe of I mean, does that make sense to you? I mean, you're kind of like a little dragon king. I mean, that's your title, right? The little dragon king, right?
Yeah, little king of dragons.
Little king of dragons. What if it's like what if your armor class, instead of becoming 13, is empowered to be like 16 plus your dexterity, right?
That's I love that. Okay, I immediately love that. I also had a different idea because there's another, because one of the at level 6 there is a of a draconic sorcerer, there is a feature where if you spend a sorcery point, where if you spend a sorcery point, you gain resistance to the element of the draconic ancestry for 1 hour. What if the magic item allows Zeta to just have resistance to fire, since it's fire draconics. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So just kind of basically we're taking the features that you would already kind of get from your sorcerer and just kind of boosting them up a little bit.
Yeah, and making it so I don't have to spend a sorcery point just to gain resistance.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can say that I would think that absolutely makes sense. What do we want to call that? We'll just call that. I'm going to call that dragon resistance for now.
Yeah,
I'm going to give it a better name later, but. Is there anything else you were thinking of, Max?
I do not. Let me see. Let me check. I'm checking I'm checking the rest of the class features. I thought. I thought there was a. Oh, there's another thing.
Okay.
There's a second part to Elemental Affinity that I think might be interesting to note. When you cast a spell that deals damage, of the type associated with Draconic Ancestry, you add your Charisma modifier to it.
Sure.
So, but that's already. I don't know how you can make that better, is what I'm saying, because you get that. You always have that.
Yeah. That's a good question, right? Because you can already make it better with your meta magics with the empowered spell. So it's really a matter of That's interesting. I mean, is that something you like want to be more powerful, or I mean, are you happy with that kind of the way it is?
I mean, I like how it is, but I feel like there should be like one more thing on it. Like,
oh no, there definitely needs to be a third thing. I'm definitely with you.
Yeah.
At least, let's see. I mean, here's a question. So obviously, you play Zeta quite a bit. Zeta's this tiny king of dragons.
Yes.
Is there like, What do you like to do with Zeta? I know you carry around like the big the what is the
Tree.
solstice tree and some other stuff. Is there anything like
else that he likes to take with him?
yeah that like excites you right when you're playing the character? Like what excites you about playing Zeta? What's like you're like, oh yeah.
Well, what makes me happy about playing Zeta, like when I first made Zeta as a character, like before I got Flipnote into D&D time,
Mhm.
I wanted to I wanted to make a character that was just super upbeat and cheerful, like you know how like my main character Michael Verdi is like a guy who's just really mostly serious. I want to make like I basically made a magical prince who's still serious, but he's also more cheerful and upbeat, and has a really cute voice.
So what if you got a thing, and this I think I would really like this, and I want your opinion on it. What if both you and Zeta got, or you and Kokla both got this as like their third individual feature, and that once per day, right, you could get some sort of like crazy benefit to an ability you used. And how many kids did your characters have? 13? Is that what it is?
No, it's 25.
25? Oh my god. You could give yourself like a plus 25 to hit or something wild like that, right? Just
forever. Oh god. Oh my god.
So it's basically just you get an auto hit at least once in addition to all the other benefits.
So it's like a magical benefit. So like let's say I roll a 2 on my attack roll, I can just say plus 25 to hit that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of like I know some clerics have a similar feature. They get a plus 10 to theirs. But I mean, what's the difference, right? They're both gonna hit, right?
Yeah. Also, yeah, no, you know what'd be funny? Imagine doing that to a Tarask who has an insanely high armor class. It's like, oh, dude, this isn't gonna, not even a 25 is gonna hit. Excuse me while I add my plus 25 to that.
Yeah.
with my 1d2 necrotic damage of the candy cane.
Shank. Yeah, it's a war cleric that has a similar vibe. Yeah. So does that sound cool to you?
Yeah, I think Flipnote would really like that because that would be really useful.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work with their spell casting though. Is the problem? It would only be for attack rolls, I think. Because I couldn't increase a spell DC by 25. That would be too powerful.
Yeah, that would be no. If you increase the spell's DC by 25, they might as well just give up and flop over and die.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Well, let's see. They still do make melee attacks, right? Or even just they don't have to be melee; they can be ranged attacks too.
Yeah, they do melee. I think Zeta has range. Like most of Zeta's magic arsenal does have I would say like half of Zeta's arsenal is saving throws and the other half is attack throws. And then you have Zeta's weapons and his main weapon of choice, which is his lovely candy cane. So which ironically does a lot of damage considering the fact it only does 1d2.
Well, but it's necrotic damage.
No, it's necrotic, but it's also finesse, which means I add like 3 dex to it, so it's like always like 4 or 5 damage.
Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. It's it's kind of in the spirit of Bartholomew's Tricks. It's the one wild feature that just breaks everything. I love this.
Okay.
I love this, Max. So many children.
And the hilarious part is 4 of those kids are going to be an adventure in the future.
They will. They absolutely will.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you had in mind, Max? Because I think this is a very cool direction, buffing up the draconic resilience and buffing up the armor class, which actually I think that is the draconic resilience, right?
Yeah.
Does that sound cool to you? I mean, I really like the being able to share your meta magic and sharing the bardic inspiration vibe.
Yeah, I really love that. It's basic. It's almost like it's almost like when we're together, when me and Kokla are together, we're basically like multi-classing almost. It's like we both like get like whenever I use the sorcerer, she gets the sorcerer benefits, and vice
Mhm.
versa. So it's almost like we're multi-classing each other.
Yeah, almost a little bit, right? It's like that little bit of like oomph that kind of flows over just because the characters are so close.
Yep.
Awesome. Do you have any ideas for what like Kokla might want?
Well, I do. Well, if for the first one, I feel like the first benefit should be called Dragon Matriarch.
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because the just to complement the first feature. However,
Yeah.
I don't know what they should do because, frankly, I've never really played a bard that well. I can't really give good opinion,
Mm.
and I need
That's
to
all good.
find if I can find Flipnote sheet or in the character codex, I might be able to find it. Let me see.
Oh, maybe let them cast spells off each other's list. That might not be a bad idea. That would be wild.
Wait, hold up. Wait, are you Are you telling me that I could that Zeta could cast off the bard spell list?
I mean, that was a suggestion from Apex. Does that sound rad to you?
Yeah, I like that, but there should be a limitation. The limitation should be that the highest level, I can only cast spells whose level is the highest level that I can currently have access to.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah, for example, I can't access a 5th level spell at Zeta's current level, even if Kokla had one.
Yeah, well, actually, it's really interesting because both of you are known casters. Sorcerers and bards both know their spells, and so I can just say that you know each other's spells.
Yeah,
I think that's like a cool way to do it. Now, is that something that you really want, or
I would no. Actually, no. I actually would love that because now I want to laugh my butt off trying to imagine the sorcerer casting bardic. Imagine me casting like vicious mockery as a sorcerer.
It'd be very good.
Fun. That'd be funny as heck.
I mean, I'm thinking more of just the bard being able to use all the cool like blasty powers that you got.
Oh my God, both Zeta and Kokla using Fireball at the exact same time. double Fireball.
Fireball all the way across the sky. All right. I'm liking this. I'm liking this quite a bit. All right. I just got to write it up now at this point, Max. Coolio. I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. Like, I need to come up with maybe one more feature for
Kokla.
Yeah, for Kokla. And you know what? Maybe. Oh, you know what it is? Maybe Kokla gets some bonus to their saving throws, and you get a bonus to your armor class. So it's kind of like.
Okay. So basically, well, yeah, because bards have bards are more magic defensive and.
Yeah,
like,
that was kind of
bards, and when bards are in play, yeah, like it's almost like what Apex and Blood Deuce had with their sword and shield thing. It's almost like that, except like Kokla's the magic shield and Zeta's the magic sword.
Yeah, almost. No, I definitely get it. I dig it. I definitely dig it. All right, I just got to put stuff together now.
Yeah, and the fact that we could both use each other's spells would be so awesome. But I think it should only. But would we have to be together in order to do that? Get that benefit, or?
Knowing spells. That's a good question. I need to think about it.
Yeah, because that's my only concern. But otherwise, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I like it as well. I know we've been kind of monopolizing the discussion. I'm sorry, guys. I know Pete and Maddie are also working on their thing.
I've made a lot of progress over here, so we'll check in with Maddie in a moment and see if we can.
I was going to say, Max, is there anything else you wanted to mention? I think I need to bump you down so Pete can actually talk to Maddie a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine. I really don't have anything else to say besides besides everything we've already mentioned. Like
Yeah,
if
no,
you,
I
and if you can and if you can somehow work how we can both learn the same all each other's spells, I would freaking love that, because then me and Coco can actually start fireballing people to death, and I want to do that now.
Mm. Yeah, I need to think about it a little bit. Exactly how powerful we need that to be. Just because I'm looking at some of these other features and getting the benefits from meta magic is super powerful. Same with automatically getting the bardic inspiration is also very powerful. There's only, I think we need to figure out what is the most important to you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I think we can make this very cool. I'm very excited about it.
If by the way, I'm talking with Flipnote on Discord DMs right now. So if
Sure.
I'll say something in Twitch chat if Kokla wants anything to say.
No, that'd be awesome. It's always
Cool.
always good to get to.
Anyway, I will bump myself down. See you guys.
I
All
see you
right,
later,
take care,
Max.
Max. Thank you.
Have a good night, man.
All right.
Jeremy, I think
I know you've been typing away there, and I know. Go ahead, Pete.
I think I'm ready to go over here if you want to hear this one. Maddie, I don't know if Maddie.
Oh shit.
Maddie mentioned that he was AFK for a moment, but you ready for this? You ready for this bad boy?
Sure.
It's a peach of wondrous power. Uavu. This peach of wondrous power is a brass sculpture of a peach small enough to fit in a pocket. If you use an action to speak the command word and throw the sculpture to a point on the ground within 60 feet of you, the peach becomes an ancient brass dragon named Uavu. If the space where the creature would appear is occupied by other creatures or objects, or if there isn't enough space for the creature, the figurine doesn't become a creature. I gotta change it to sculpture again there. Because it ain't a figurine, it's a peach. Sculpture. Uavu is friendly to you and your companions. He understands your languages and obeys your spoken commands. If you issue no commands, I don't need to say the creature, I can just say he defends himself, but takes no other actions. Uavu remains for 1 minute, at the end of which he reverts to his sculpture form. He reverts to a sculpture early if he or you drop to 0 hit points, or if you use an action to speak the command word again while touching him. When Uavu becomes a sculpture again, this property of the peach can't be used again until the next dawn. Uavu is unable to take actions other than move actions and the dash action, and cannot use his legendary resistance feature. This is the baseline. But if you're Zuzip, you also gain the following benefits. Brass Chariot. When you use an action to summon the Brass Dragon, you may choose to increase the duration to 1 hour. If you do so, Uavu does not gain the benefits of the Claw, Breath Weapon, or True Uavu features. Uavu can be hooked up to a vehicle, granting that vehicle a flying speed equal to his own. Claw. Uavu is able to make a single claw attack on each of his turns. And then at 13th level, Uavu may use either his Fire Breath or Sleep Breath. Once used, this feature cannot be used again until the next time they are summoned. He is summoned. So we got that information now. And True Uavu. Uavu may use his multi-attack action.
That's very good.
That's
very good.
It's a pretty good move. Frightful Presence is also in that. Is one of the big things about that action.
That's a frightful presence.
But he goes away if Zuzip goes away. So.
Oh no.
So there's that. It's saying it's not just a straight up. There is a condition by which, because I don't think Uavu the Ancient Brass Dragon is likely to ever fall in combat, but Zuzip may. This is what I'm at, Jeremy. How do you feel about this?
I dig it, actually. I think that's very cool. It might be way too powerful.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. I don't think. Okay, so do you think it's too powerful before the claw attack?
I'm trying to figure out what it does, right? What can they do? What they can't do? Can they So they can't. The only actions they can take are the dash action.
Yes.
Move and dash.
Yep. So it's just a really fast flight.
Really,
Yeah.
we're looking at this 13th level feature because that's like, oh, I guess they get the claw too. Yeah, I guess because the things where this gets scary, right, is when they can like grapple someone and fly away, and it's like, well, they got a trillion hit points.
Yeah,
But if they can't do that, it's not a problem.
yeah, they can only. The only thing that they can do is the things that it's specified that he can do.
Hmm. Yeah, I
So
don't know.
a claw
I like
attack.
it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely it's wild. We
Wild.
as it comes out of every Bartholomew's Choice, I feel like we've ever done. It's a wild one. Which I don't know. We'll see what Maddie thinks too. See if Maddie likes it. One
Mhm.
fire or sleep breath. I didn't put that on recharge, not just because it's overpowered, but just because that way we're not doing anything with recharge.
Yeah.
Because that's an annoying mechanic for players to mess with. And yeah, I mean multi attack 17th level. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. Is you down on this guy if Maddie's down?
I think so.
Cool, cool. Let me look over again, and also Jeremy.
Resisting. Yeah. All right, Halo. Yeah, I'm figuring stuff out. I'm figuring out what I want to put here, and what I want to do.
Let me also catch up on what you're doing. Jeremy, do you want to call a stream sometime fairly soon?
Yeah, I think I want to just finish this up really quickly, so I have the Cobalt Tooth necklace in a good spot.
Yeah, I was very focused on what I was doing, so I'll catch up and see if I can check yours out as well. Ah, here we are.
Okay, so I think
like
that
Spirit of-
works.
Spirit of Family's cute.
I think so as well. Um, hmm. Now, what do I want to do for Kokla? Kokla is a bard, which means they get expertise. They get Song of Rest. They get Jack of all trades. What do I want to do? What's Song of Rest do exactly? I like this. Okay. Oh, did this wrong, whatever it was. Not the right font. I want it to be normal. Yeah, a Jack of all trades empowerment. I was thinking of a similar idea. Um, Halo. But I think how I want to do this is rather than I think I want to tie this into the Song of Rest actually, which is wild. Um, All right. I like this a lot. As the matriarch of a prodigious family, you've discovered how to find rest in even the most harrowing of situations. Whenever you would cast a spell which would target one of your allies, they immediately regain hit points equal to your Song of Rest die.
That's cute.
Uh, yeah, I'm having a hard time finding a place to fit this dragon resilience in.
So
But
the idea was he wanted to buff up the elemental affinity, right?
Really wanted was he really wanted to be able to cast from each other's spell lists.
Yeah.
That's very, very strong. Oh, that's just a lot.
The thing that concerns me about casting from each other's spell lists is, for casters, the choices that you make for spells are kind of what makes you special.
You unique, yeah. I don't want to
So I'm just worried about their flavor. They almost become one character at that point and lose their individuality in a way that I think it's fun on paper, but I think like in practice it'll end up just feeling a little bit like, they're just kind of homogenized there.
Yeah, I agree. You know what I think we can do with this draconic resist? Because this is something that Max really wanted, was the fire resistance all the time.
Why not just make it so that it doesn't require the expenditure of sorcery points when you use your elemental affinity? That could be
it's an easy out.
Yeah,
I think what we can do, you know what we can do? We can say, yeah, I like that a lot. It's just
Jeremy, I think I have a better idea if we want to backtrack.
Okay.
How do you feel about fire immunity?
No, because I don't like that. That becomes so way too strong. Way too strong.
Fire immunity at this.
Yeah, it's wild.
I was going to say is you have resistance to fire damage when you use your elemental affinity. You could gain immunity.
Well, the problem is it's not until the end of your next turn. It's just indefinite for the elemental affinity is the problem.
It's for an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, immunity to fire is outrageous, piece. It's outrageous. This would be ultra legendary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking more. I'll explain what I'm talking about after because I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about it on the stream here. But yeah, sure. Why don't we just do the elemental affinity then without the expenditure of sorcery points?
Yeah. Your elemental affinity. What does elemental affinity say? When you use your elemental affinity, you spend 0 sorcery points instead of 1. Easy peasy lemon wheezy. And then I wanted to put another little feature on Kokla there. Did you have any thoughts, Pete?
Do you want something that parallels that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. What else do they get?
How about if we're talking draconic resistance, we could also do draconic resilience and something involving saving throws on concentration. I think would be a reasonable parallel there.
Yeah, I already gave them a concentration, or I guess a saving throw oomph, but
yeah, maybe not then.
Well, you know what? I think what I can do here is I'm just going to give this an ASDIF because this is what you have to do sometimes.
Yeah, we do a lot of ASDIFs in these.
You got to give them the correctly formatted ASDIF. You got to highlight it in yellow, and you got to accept to yourself, I'm going to come back to it another time, and oh my god. And when I do, oh my goodness, what am I doing wrong? Why is it highlighting those? I don't understand. Anyway, doesn't matter. highlight yellow. Why is it doing that? Anyway.
Max was mentioning how about for the spells thing, Kokla and Zeta can use a non-cantrip spell from the other spell list, but only once per day.
Yeah, I'm just worried about that just being a little too complicated. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure how much it actually helps. Is the thing.
It's it'd be more. I think it'd be more interesting. And Max, I think the way that we're gonna find a compromise on this is that maybe we just pick out a spell that relates to.
That's like the family spell.
Yeah, that's like the family move. Yeah, I feel like an appropriate one would be like a shatter or like a at a high level or something like that, you know,
or maybe like a scorching ray.
Scorching ray would be just like I like the idea of something that's like because I can see that one being like a draconic roar and like a musical thing, like it kind of works for both to me.
Yeah, we'll figure it out though. We'll come back.
I think we can find a thing that that works for both of you that pans. Max was liking Scorching Ray, so that's cool.
Yeah, you like the Scorching Ray? All right, so I'm just gonna put a note down here. Family Magic, Scorching Ray. All right, I'm just gonna leave that down here for now and know that that is a come back to point. Yeah, this is weird that it's highlighting strangely. But yeah, double fireball for when the mixtape they drop on their end. Yeah, no, I mean I think we want to avoid breaking things too much. This is already a very potent item. Very, very potent. But anyway, thanks everybody for hanging out. I know Pete, you need to run, and I actually need to run too. So I realize now how late it is. Boy,
we're going for a while. Yeah, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll work through some stuff. It's nice having some folks here and kind of talking us through what they wanted. Those of you who we didn't get to today, rest assured that we will get to you sooner rather than later. Sword, any more homework? Right now, I'm just gonna say no homework for next week. We both got a lot on our plates right now as we're getting ready for as we're going through the Carnival of Souls. So no homework next week. And we'll
actually along that kind of line, we're gonna keep doing Fantasy Labs for now. There might be a point in the next like month or so where we take a break from Fantasy Labs to really focus on Pete and Jeremy's D&D time, because as if you've read our schedule on our Discord, there's a lot that we're trying to do in not a lot of time.
It's why we're doing this tonight, is because Jeremy and I only have so many nights that we can do work for D&D time, and this is one of them. So
God, between work and everything else, we gotta figure out time to make everything happen. But we appreciate y'all being here, for being part of what we're putting together here, and thanks everybody. It's awesome to see everyone hanging out and being part of the show.
Yeah, thanks for joining us tonight, y'all. And
I don't of our like theme. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Pete, but it's part of our like theme of the show, which is becoming a better game master and dungeon master. I know we weren't the most vocal throughout going, but hopefully some of the ideas that we've kind of come up with, that we were like talking through tonight, have been helpful for you all in figuring out ways that you can create your own homebrew stuff. Like Pete realizing the Figurine of Wondrous Power, an awesome template for summoning monsters. It's the kind of thing that like Pete and I's experience dungeon mastering and playing. Hopefully some of that's helpful for you all when in the future one of your players wants to summon a crazy monster.
An ancient dragon.
I don't know how, but now you do.
I got nothing else, Jeremy.
All right, with that, he's Pete.
He's Jeremy, and this is Fantasy Labs. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.